that's left for me is here in this eternity of isolation, isolation.
Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Stop arguing with Granddad. Stop it.
I'm not arguing.
Picking fights with 8-year-olds, Paul. He's PC picking fights with you.
He's maybe picking a fight with me, but I don't think so.
You're just telling him the truth now.
Yeah.
That the USSR was actually really bad and that you don't want to be a part of it at all.
No, that's not what I'm telling him.
You telling him?
I'm about America and European governments setting out to make sure socialist governments fail all around the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
America is a disaster area.
Mm-hmm.
I better not have a cough. I'm gonna get you if you've given me a cough. Look at them sleeping together. They're so cute. Psst, psst, psst. Oh, that's definitely bird poo, Daphne. What are you doing? I'm gonna clean this one out now. Of what?
Bulbs.
You're doing it. And show them the difference. This whole bit, it's all cleared out now. Just need to put in the weed killer. And Paul's planted the red hot pokers.
These are quite beautiful pots of mud.
Yeah, you've made these beautiful pots of mud, but it's good. I hope they work. Oh, okay, so I've cleaned out a bunch of pots. We've planted a bunch of pots. This one has... oh, I can't even remember already what's in that one. Well, literally what is in there? I can't remember. These two are the peonies. And I cleaned that one out and I put little poppy seeds in it. And I cleaned that one out and I put poppy seeds in there too. And we've taken this bit down because this bit was kind of falling down and getting a bit crazy. And there's 3 long things. There's 2 there. Those have the tall, like poker shaped plants. And then this one has a few of the bee and butterfly plants in it. These things. So one of them has... it's got this one, and this one together in one pot. Look how dirty my fingers are. Paul is doing weed killing. What did I plant in that pot? I don't remember. I honestly can't remember. I cleaned up the gin garden a little bit and I'm leaving that outside just to see how it fares on its own. Oh, I repotted another one of these succulent ones, like that one. So there's another one thriving down there. The catmint. Paul planted the catmint, and that is down here in a sort of separate spot, so the cats can just, like, if they want to rub themselves on it, they won't interfere with the other plants. What is in there? I can't remember. Okay, I just remembered what's in this. There was 3 of these left over. So there's 3 of these in that one. And then the rest of them are down there in those 2 pots with the red hot pokers. And in these ones, I'm about to do sunflowers. So we were trying to figure out what way to do sunflowers. I was used to growing them inside, but apparently you can plant them straight out here, so outdoors. And it says they need to be 18 inches apart, so I thought I was originally going to do them in the long trays, but they're not really long enough. So I'm just going to do 1 plant each in these pots and then see how that turns out. So I'm going to sow them and then water them and put them somewhere really sunny and see how it goes.
I'm not comfortable to carry it around like that.
Hey Paul,
Mm-hmm.
I'm filming.
What are you filming?
I'm going to just see what we did in the garden that we're coming in there for takeaway. So we finished planting most of the plants in the garden. I got the sunflowers done and they're sitting somewhere nice and sunny. But the plant pots haven't been all arranged properly because we're going to wait until we've cleared all the weeds out and then we can arrange them in a nice way and make sure the ones that need lots of sun are in a position where they get lots of sun, the ones that need part shade are in the shady bit. And we're tired and it's 7 o'clock, so we're going to get a takeaway. Yeah. And I'm just checking my video upload from last night, making sure that that's worked. And then I thought I would explain to you guys about the medical trial that we're doing, because we had a visit from the doctors this morning, or Paul spoke to them, I was still asleep. But I thought I would show you my weird form that I have to fill in. Not the form, I'm not going to show them the confidential form. I was going to show them the diary that we have to do.
My phone's not recognising my fingerprint because my finger's dirty.
Well, that's
Locked out of my phone for very seconds.
That's what happens.
The next day.
The abandoned guile. Hey, it's really quiet in the shop. There's literally nobody. Hi, Charlie. Hey. Oh.
Something to do with bobbing. It's not me. I'm not doing this.
Charlie. Look at Charlie's big whiskers. Are you a happy lady?
Oh, for fuck's fucking bobbing is ruining my goddamn life.
Okay, so I thought I would show the paperwork for the medical trial that me and Paul are doing. So it's a male contraceptive birth control, which is a hormonal birth control, and it's a gel that you apply to your shoulders and onto your back every day, and it comes in a plastic pump, and it's like an alcohol gel, so it absorbs into your skin really fast, so it starts off kind of wet and then it like sinks in and then it's dry really quickly. But it's on your hands, so you need to wash your hands right after you do it. So there's 2 bits of paperwork for the women that are on the study, so I'm going to show you mine. I can't show you Paul's because I don't have it with me, and I can only show you bits of it because parts of it are like, I'm allowed to show parts of it and parts of it are secret. So I've covered up with little bits of paper my patient number and my center number, because it's a totally anonymous study, so the people that are analysing the results aren't allowed to know my name associated with my patient ID number. So that's why there's little bits of pink paper covering up. But this is the main part that I have to do. I actually have to do more paperwork than Paul does. And this is a diary. And it has a bit on the front. It's a diary where you're supposed to record your periods and your like sexual activities. So you have a little bit at the start here where you put the start date of each menstrual cycle. So this is a totally blank one. I just got it when the doctors came. And you just put it in this like format on the first day every time you start bleeding. And I'm not allowed to be on any birth control at all. So it's all like my whole experience is just my like natural cycles. So I'll just show you the inside of this. Okay, so there's 2 parts. So the top half is the bleeding part, and you put the date in for every day that you do it. I'd fill in every day. And if you've got no bleeding, you just put none, and when your period starts, you sort of check the boxes all the way along. And then this part is the sort of sex part, so you have to put yes or no, and then have you used any other contraceptive. So we're not supposed to, because we're in the main stage of the trial. We're not allowed to use any other contraceptive than the gel. So it should always be no when you do this. And then if it's yes for any reason at all, you can put it in. You're really allowed to do whatever you want, but you need to have no other contraceptive method at least twice a month for it to be like acceptable to the trial people. And there's like a little guide for how to fill it in. So I have to do that every day, and then every 3 months I give it back to them, and then they give me a new one. So this is my new one. Right, and this is the other bit of paperwork I've got to do. This is just one that's like every few months. I think I've only had to do it twice before. I did one right at the start, and then one right before we started the main phase of the trial. So this is the halfway point one. And it's a questionnaire. So there'll be a few personal questions like, how do you feel it's going? Like how do you think Paul's doing with it? That kind of stuff. But it's totally confidential. So the doctors that we're doing the trial with aren't allowed to see the answers. Paul's not allowed to see the answers. And me and Paul both have different questions on our forms. So I can't see his at all, and he can't see mine. It's like totally secret. So I can't show you any of that at all. But that's it anyway. Male contraceptive birth control gel acceptability, female partners treatment phase. And then I put it into the sealed envelope and I give it back to the doctors when it's sealed up. But yeah, so that's the paperwork I've got to do. And Paul's is a bit more simple. His is like a little spreadsheet, and it has the time of day that he puts the gel on every day. So he puts it on at like 7:30, it's like 7:30. And that's all he has to put in every day, just the time he put it on. And there's a little space beside it on the opposite side, and it says it's like space for him to put in any symptoms he's having. If he's like feeling a bit sick, or if he's got some acne or something else, he puts that in. Or if he has to take medicine for any other reason, he puts that in. So they can track symptoms and things like that. But that's our paperwork. Hi guys, so I promised I would come on and explain what this medical trial we're doing is and how it works and everything. So I'm here in Rachel's room because it's got a nice light and a good background. So how I heard about it, it was through the University of Edinburgh's Facebook page. I saw this thing come up and it was like, hey, we're looking for couples to take part in a male birth control medical trial. And I saw it and I thought, like, that's so interesting. I've been hearing lots about these trials, and then men are always like, sort of saying, oh, if there was one then I would take it, but there isn't one, so I can't. And there's a lot of guys that like refuse to wear condoms and stuff like that, so it means it's always on the women to be in control of taking birth control. So I sent a link to Paul and I was like, oh hey, you're always saying if there was something like this for you then you would do it, so that it's not always on the woman. So, you know, do you want to put your money where your mouth is and give it a go? And at first he was like, oh, I don't know about that. And then eventually he was like, yeah, do you know what? Yeah, you're right. I should put my money where my mouth is. Like, guys do say that all the time. They're like, yeah, I want to have more options. And we had a chance to be a part of it. So we got in touch and he actually phoned, and I was like really surprised he actually phoned, because I kind of just thought like nothing would come of it, but he totally did. And that was how we got involved with it. So the most important thing is to explain how it works. There are 2 hormones in the gel that Paul has to put on every day. One of them is testosterone, and one of them is I'm not going to say its name, but it's a artificially engineered hormone, which is a male version of the pregnancy hormone progesterone. So it's a fake man version of progesterone, which when women take it in the combined pill, tricks your body into thinking that it's already pregnant and stops it from releasing an egg, so you can't have the egg fertilized. But what happens to men when they take this false pregnant hormone is, instead of not producing an egg, they stop producing the sperm. So they take the gel every day, and slowly but surely over the course of a couple of months, it takes your sperm count from normal all the way down to like almost nothing, so you can't get somebody pregnant. So there's 3 stages to the study. The first stage is 6 months long, and that's when you start taking the gel but you stay on, like I stay on birth control. So Paul keeps taking the gel, and they regularly check his sperm count until it comes all the way down to a level where he's like classified as infertile. And I stay on the birth control while that's happening, and it takes a few months. So we kept going in, getting measured, we're getting our bloods taken, and they were checking our hormone levels and stuff, and they had to make sure Paul was fertile to begin with, which he is. He was very healthy, so that was really good just to find out anyway, even if we didn't stay on the trial. It's good to know he's healthy, like reproductively and stuff. So we did that, took the count down to 0. Not 0, it's still like 1 million. We're still like 1 million sperm even when it's at 0, which kind of freaked me out because I was like, that's still a lot, but apparently that's really, really low in actuality. So after the 6 months mark, then I stopped taking the birth control and we just stay 100% only with the gel, and that's the stage we're in now. We've already been in it for 6 months, so we're officially halfway through. So on the middle stage, where it's your only contraceptive, that's 12 months long. So you keep taking it all the time. They take Paul's blood a lot. They still take the samples, the sperm samples, to make sure it's staying low, and they make sure he's okay. It's mostly about making sure he's okay. It's not so important. They don't check on me as much because it's not me that's like taking in the new experimental drug. And there's some weird rules with it. So because it's a gel, it's topical, it goes onto his skin, and it has testosterone and other hormones in it. I'm not allowed to touch the gel because if I absorb it, it can affect me as well. So when Paul puts gel on, he always has to wear a t-shirt because if I touch his skin, then I can absorb it. So he has to wear it for at least 4 hours before he takes a shower. And then when he goes to bed, like if he puts it on at night time, he has to wear a t-shirt to bed so that I don't touch him and he doesn't get it on the bed. So it's not so bad. It just means basically you can't touch your partner on their shoulders or their back unless they've had a shower and washed off. But they always have to keep on for 4 hours before that. But that's the main thing about it. And you're supposed to apply it at the same time every day. And I think Paul's found a little bit, if you don't put it on at the same time every day, then you can kind of get like a little bit tired. You know, notices himself getting a little bit tired if he puts it on too late, if he misses the dose in the morning. But that's personal. That'll be different for all guys, just the same as there's all different symptoms for women when they take hormonal birth control. After the 12 months, Paul stops taking the gel and we keep going in for the visits, and they track his sperm count coming back up to normal again, make sure everything's okay. And then that's us done. And then they pay us a bit of money. It's not a lot of money. Medical trials in the UK don't pay anything like as much as they do in the United States, I don't think. But we're fine with that. We're just treating it like a little savings account basically for whenever we do want to have a kid on purpose. So we're going to keep it in a separate bank account, like a savings account, or we might put it towards the wedding. We've not totally decided yet, but yeah. So our main concerns were, what if Paul's sperm count doesn't come back up to normal again? What if it like has what if it has like a permanent effect on his sperm count? That was really worrying. What if I get pregnant by accident and it doesn't actually work? Those were the two issues. And they assured us with both of those, it's not the first time they've tested this drug on humans. So they said they've already done a first round on guys with it, and all their sperm counts came back to normal again. They're not worried about it causing infertility. That's not an issue at all. And they told us that there was like a 1% chance of accidental pregnancy. So whenever I go in, they do a pregnancy test on me to make sure I'm not pregnant. And they said that if I was to get pregnant, it's totally up to me what I want to do, but they would immediately take us off the trial. So we would come off the trial at that point and they would give us the money, whatever. And they said if I did get pregnant and I chose to keep the baby, they would want to monitor me and the baby's health for the first 1.5 years, just to make sure that it's okay and that there's not any like side effects or anything that's different that happens if you conceive a child while the man's on these hormones. So that's interesting, but that's not happened so far. I've been fine. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I really hope it works out. Me and Paul both quite like it as a method, and he's not had any bad side effects at all. He's quite well, he's happy, he doesn't find it particularly inconvenient, apart from that he doesn't like sleeping in a t-shirt if he's not had a shower in the evening. Yeah, so we both quite like it, and I'd recommend it whenever it comes out. If anybody, if it comes out and it's available for people to use, I'd totally recommend it to anybody. But yeah, so that's the story of what we're doing. Sorry, it's been quite a long explanation, but if you have any questions about it, please ask me and I'll tell you. I'm pretty sure we're allowed to talk about it. It's not like a secret or anything. It's not a secret trial, and they never made us sign any secrecy documents or NDAs or anything like that. So yeah, anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye bye.
Virus.
So we're watching my friend Lexi do an Ask Me Anything about the Spanish flu.
The Spanish flu disproportionately was deadly for those with the strongest immune systems. In particular,
it killed people with the strongest immune systems.
Those between the ages of 15 and 40 were more likely to die from the Spanish flu than those who were younger or older.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now,
that's cool.
This is very different.
Lexi's a curator at the Quincy Historical Society, and she put on an exhibition about this last year. Oh, we should turn the telly off. Hang on. Okay, I need to film this real quick before my camera dies. Okay, yep, so keeping it kind of short for the last 2 days. I mainly wanted to just explain about that medical trial in this video. But I think I'm just going to call it a day now. Yesterday was mostly doing gardening stuff, and then today I went to Morrison's with Paul, and now I'm at my parents' house. So yeah, I'm going to be here tomorrow as well, and then I'll go home. I'm not totally sure when, but it'll be a fun couple of days. Going to do some yoga in the garden with Josie tomorrow if the sun's out, and then on Tuesday we've got D&D, and that's it really. So I'll come back in another couple of days with some more updates. Okay, bye bye guys, good night.